The Vegas Golden Knights had the biggest free agent acquisition of the offseason, locking up Mitch Marner on a $12 million 8-year contract, a notorious playoff choker. We have a 28-year-old Mitch Marner smack dab in the middle of his prime, 94 overall, alongside Jack Eichel and Ivan Barbashev. And overall, the Vegas Golden Knights, they have a solid roster. They did get belted by the Edmonton Oilers in the second round of the postseason. Defensively, we need a little bit more depth, and between the pipes, we need an upgrade in goal. Adin Hill is not going to cut it. 84 overall, we need to get stronger there, and I think our bottom six needs to get a whole lot better. But of course, the first order of business is to re-sign Jack Eichel. He wants 10.6 over the next 8 years. I will gladly give him that contract, but I'm going to lower the AAV a little bit. We will try to get him down as much as possible as I try to rebuild the Vegas Golden Knights. $9.7 million over the next 8 seasons with a full no movement clause intact. Jack Eichel better accept that offer. Ken Johnson from the Columbus Blue Jackets for William Karlsson, a first, second, and a third rounder. Not hard to see why the Blue Jackets completely rejected that offer. Instead, I'm going to try to do a different trade in the form of Jake Evans and Kirby Dack for Sissons, Connolly, a fourth, and a fifth rounder. No! I'm getting rejected by the Montreal Canadiens right now. That's crazy. Throw in a third round pick to sweeten the deal just a touch, and they still do not want to go for it. It is high school all over again. We're going to use our draft capital to grab Jake Evans. He makes $2.8 million over the next 4 seasons. Bang! There we go. First trade has been done. GM Pasta has arrived in Vegas. Braden McNabb, a second and 2 third-round picks for Siegenthaler. Bang. There it is yet again. The New Jersey Devils accept my offer. We get younger on the back end, and I think we get a little bit better. I think I found a guy on the Ottawa Senators. I'm going to give up Zachary Whitecloud. He makes too much money for Clevin from Ottawa. Straight up 1-for-1. Consider it a done deal as I am wheeling and dealing, trying to honestly completely overhaul our back end. We're a little bit older, a little bit slower, and we need to get better. Using our draft capital, we are going to snag Riker Evans from the Seattle Kraken. He has low trade value, and he does have top 4 potential. Definitely a guy at 23 years old that can grow into a top 4 D-man for this roster. The problem that I'm running into right now is Vegas. They don't have a lot of salary cap available. A lot of guys like Brendan Saad and Riley Smith taking up $2 million apiece. Both having no trade clause makes this tough. Next season, of course, Dorofeyev is going to want an extension. I would love to get rid of Brendan Saad and Riley Smith, but I guess I'm going to have to go Keegan Kolazar. Maybe throw in a draft pick just to make sure this trade will go through. Throw in a 6th rounder for Jake Neighbors from the St. Louis Blues, and they consider it a done deal. St. Louis really believes they're going to be getting a good deal here. That is going to do it on my moves for year number 1. We're going to go Barbashev, Eichel, and Marner on the top line. Mark Stone can play alongside Tomas Hertl and Pavel Dorofeyev. Actually, I'm going to move up Dorofeyev. 24 years old. I want him to grow. Neighbors, Karlsson, and Smith. And then we'll go Jake Evans alongside Brendan Saad and Brett Howden. Defensively, Theodore and Hannafin are fine. Siegenthaler can play alongside Riker Evans, although Clevin, does he fit better? I think Lazan is the issue here chemistry-wise on our D-core. I will leave it the way it is. Unfortunately, I was not able to find a goaltender that we could snag. We are going to be running out Adin Hill as our starting goaltender at an 84 overall. Wish me luck. Bruce Cassidy, what is up? The Vegas Golden Knights have a very high ceiling for this season, so I think hold up, we're only good enough to make the playoffs, so we're not a Stanley Cup contender? I guess adding in Mitch the Bitch Marner will not make you a Stanley Cup contending team. Let's go to the preseason. Let's do conditioning. We need to be in tip-top shape if we want to win the Stanley Cup this year. Plan the parade right the hell now. We lock up Jack Eichel long-term on that contract. He gladly accepts my offer. We are now going to go ahead and simulate the season. Hopefully have a good regular season, and then come playoff time, Adin Hill does not become our downfall, because an 84 overall netminder, not really the greatest to have in NHL video games. Can't even lie, we're not off to a hot start. 18, 16, and 4. Little bit early struggles for Marner and the Vegas Golden Knights. Obviously, he's got to get accustomed to his brand new team, but right now we are almost dead last in the Pacific. Not boding well for our playoff hopes. Also, I would like to add that the season simulation is as slow as ever here in NHL 26. EA Sports, do better. I think we might have just found our goaltender. Philip Gustafsson is on the market in Minnesota, probably because they're not having a hot season either. We trade for him, give up Adin Hill and a first-round draft pick, and there it is. On the behalf of the Minnesota Wild organization, I accept your trade offer. We will see you out on the ice. I definitely paid a hefty price for a number 1 starting goaltender. Gustafsson's in his prime, though. He's 27, 89 overall, a massive upgrade over Aiden Hill, so I don't know if it's going to boat well this season, but moving forward, I think it was the right decision. Definitely an underwhelming season. 6th place in the Pacific as we went 37, 36, and 9. Only 83 points on the year. Edmonton won our division, and for the entire NHL, the Florida Panthers, the reigning defending champs, are still on top. Marner had an absolute massive regression down to only 70 points. A massive regression for Mitch Marner all the way down to 19 goals and 70 points on a brand new hockey team. He had a career high last year, and he hasn't scored under 70 points since literally his second season in the NHL. 2017, 2018, a very long time ago. Jack Eichel had a bad year. Ivan Barbashev was horrible. Mark Stone, probably on the LTIR the entire season. Just an overall shit year for Vegas. Gustafsson had a 9-13, 4 shutouts, but he didn't play a lot of games with the Vegas Golden Knights. Only 17, 5-9-3 record with 1 shutout, but he did have a 919 save percentage. That I can work with. Leon Draisaitl will lead the NHL in scoring with 113 points, and for the most goals, it will go to Nathan MacKinnon, the lone 50-goal man. Unfortunately, we did miss the playoffs, so it is time to sim to the NHL draft and try to rebuild this roster heading into season number 2. The Edmonton Oilers finally get it done with Connor McDavid over the Columbus Blue Jackets in the finals? That has got to be the weirdest Stanley Cup finals probably in NHL history. Draisaitl is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. McKinnon the Maurice Richard. Makar will take home the Norris. Connor McDavid wins his second Conn Smythe. Sergei Bobrovsky the Vezina, and the Selke will go to your mom's a hoe, Sebastian Aho. We did not win the NHL draft lottery. We are going to remain 11th overall. I'm not gonna lie, I had high hopes. I thought maybe potentially we could get the first overall pick, but that did not end up happening. The caveman himself, Brent Burns, has decided to retire. Corey Perry, after getting injured in Los Angeles, he's also gone. Logan Couture is out of here. Shea Weber, and the GOAT, Leo Komarov. The NHL draft, here I come. I'm not gonna make a trade to move up in the draft. We're just gonna take our pick, 11th overall, see who is available and who is the best option for Vegas to take. Osgood, he starred, elite medium potential, two-way guy, similar style to Joe Thornton, and NHL ready in 2 seasons. Sure, 67 overall, but the good news is he does have medium elite potential. Now in the re-sign phase, Mark Stone is in his final year of his contract. He's probably going to get traded, I'm not going to lie. Pavel Dorofeyev is a restricted free agent who we do need to re-sign. $5.3 million over the next 2 seasons. You know what? I'm going to give him that contract, and he accepts it on the spot. Now, I did know that we would have to re-sign Philip Gustafsson when I traded for him at the trade deadline. He wants a full no movement clause. I'm totally comfortable giving him that. We are going to go $7 million over the next 6 seasons. Philip Gustafsson, congrats. You're the starting goalie of Vegas for the foreseeable future. Now, as I sit here signing my associate and assistant head coaches, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, but we only have 5 seasons to win the Vegas Golden Knights a Stanley Cup. Otherwise, my ass is getting the boot. With already 1 season down the drain, the pressure is on and the clock is ticking. We don't have a lot of salary cap space available. I don't think I'm going to sign anybody in free agency. Martin H's would be great. Maybe we try to move off of Mark Stone and sign Martin H's. He does want a 6-year deal, $12.2 million, I believe. Full no movement clause. Hold up a minute. Let me cook. I might go ahead and absolutely ruin the Vegas Golden Knights, but that might be a good thing for the National Hockey League. Mark Stone, a 2nd and a 3rd for Kent Johnson from the Columbus Blue Jackets. They are totally unwilling. Throw in another 2nd and another 3rd rounder to fill up the trade block, and bang. Consider it a done deal. We got younger. We got better. We removed our captain and the guy, honestly, that has been faking injuries here in Vegas for year after year. Unfortunately, we're not going to have enough money available to sign Martin H's, but we can go out here and get somebody else. A defenseman like Rasmus Anderson wouldn't be bad. Maybe Alex Tuck to add to our forward core. I'm having a very tough time choosing between Anderson and Tuck, so I'm just going to offer both of them a contract. Whoever accepts my offer first will be welcomed here in Vegas. So 8.1 over the next 5 seasons for Alex Tuck, and bang, he accepts right on the spot. Welcome to Vegas. Anderson would have been nice, but I do feel like our forward core is a a little bit weaker than our decor right now. We do have $2.3 million to spend. I might go out and grab a defenseman who doesn't want a lot of money. Potentially could sign here. Ian Cole wouldn't be bad. Just a depth guy. Maybe Lazan, bring him back. Let's try to build the best possible lineup that we can here. So Dorofeyev, I do want to play on the top line instead of Alex Tuck. Actually, never mind. The chemistry works way better with Dorofeyev, Kent Johnson, Ivan Barbashev. We'll go Tuck, Eichel, and Marner. William Karlsson can move up to the third line maybe. Does Brett Howden work a little bit better? He does. So we'll go Howden, Hurdle, Neighbors, Evans alongside William Karlsson and Raphael Lavoie, Theodore Hannafin, Evan Siegenthaler, and then Clevin and Lazone. And in goal, we now have an 89 overall, legit #1 guy in Philip Gustafsson with probably the worst backup goaltender in the entire NHL. It is now time also to set new captaincies. Mark Stone obviously is gone, so we're going to have to name a captain, which will be Mitch Marner. Jack Eichel is going to grab an A, and on the back end, I think I'm going to go Noah Hannafin with the other assistant captaincy. I know Leaf fans are absolutely fuming right now at the fact that Mitch Marner is the captain of the Vegas Golden Knights. Ken Johnson is in his final year of his contract, needs an extension, so I'm going to give him a full no movement clause, lower the AAV, $7.9 million over the next 4 seasons, lock him up for the remainder of the video. We're going to go 3.2 over the next 3 years for Jake Neighbors. Riker Evans also needs to be re-signed. The problem is we only have $10 million of contract extension money to spend, so I'm going to give Riker Evans a full no movement clause, lower the AAV, $2.425 million, 3 years on the contract, and he will accept my offer. Bruce Cassidy, buddy, I'll be honest, you are on the hot seat after missing the postseason last year. It didn't go our way. We are going to go video sessions, and our goal is to make the Stanley Cup Finals. It's pretty much cup or bust every single season of this video. We got Ken Johnson locked up for the remainder of the video, and Jake Neighbors decided to reject because we do not have enough salary cap space available. Everybody wants the payday. Hopefully this season will be a little bit nicer to us than last year. I think overall we do have a better hockey team, and now the Vegas Golden Knights are ready to be led by Mitch the Bitch Marner and win the Stanley Cup. I think it's safe to say the Vegas Golden Knights are having a much stronger start to the season than last year. You mean to tell me that Quinn Hughes is available at the trade deadline? I know his trade value is absolutely through the roof. I would be a bad general manager if I didn't try to acquire him. I don't think we're going to get it done without giving up a massive piece in return, but I'm going to try. He'll need to be re-signed in the offseason. I believe I'm good enough to get that done. A guy like Shea Theodore would have to go. We give up Shea Theodore, 2 first-round picks, and a second into the trade for Quinn Hughes from the Vancouver Canucks, and they have rejected my offer. But I do believe I'm not far off. Prospect, 3 first-round picks, and Shea Theodore for Quinn Hughes straight up. I don't think it's going to get done, boys. 10% salary retained for Jonas Brodin. I'm going to throw Riker Evans, 2 seconds, and a 4th rounder into the trade, and I get rejected. Well, at least I tried. What a bounce-back season for Vegas. 52, 22, and 8, 110 points, second in the Pacific Division, and we would end up being a top 5 team in the NHL this year, only behind Toronto, Colorado, and Edmonton. We just cannot have the Maple Leafs winning a Stanley Cup before we do. Mitch Marner will set a brand new career high in Vegas, 39 goals, 123 points. Eichel had 41 and 111, so our offense has completely overhauled. Theodore was damn near a 70-point defenseman. Alex Tuck had 6-7. Dorofeyev 62 and 31 goals, and then between the pipes, Philip Gustafsson wasn't that great. Only a .909 save percentage. He did have 3 shutouts, and the most important thing is wins. 46 of them on the season. Well, I guess Austin Matthews is going to go off in this universe. 72 goals on the year, and the most points at 133. Draisaitl had 124, McDavid 123, Marner was up there, McKinnon, Cale Makar, William Nylander. The former teammates in Toronto are still absolutely producing. Goalie-wise, Skinner will win the most games at 51, and the most shutouts will be a 2-way tie between Anthony Stolarz and Jacob Markstrom, as the Golden Knights are set to play the Vancouver Canucks in the very first round. Overall, a pretty depleted roster, if I do say so. DeBrusk, Pettersson, and Besser is their top line. I think we have them covered. A second line, we're definitely better. Even depth-wise, I feel like we have the advantage, but Quinn Hughes, by far and away, is going to be the best player on the ice. 94 overall. Is going to be the best player on the ice at a 97. The rest of the decor is pretty rough, and in goal, Thatcher Demko is not better overall-wise than Philip Gustafsson. I think we do have the advantage over Vancouver, although the EA sim engine can be completely wonky at times. We end up losing game 1, 4-2. We need game 2. We get it. Dominate them 5-1, as it'll be a quick and easy 5-game series for Vegas. Moving on now to round number 2 to play our arch rivals in the Edmonton Oilers. We are 1-1 against them in our franchise's history. It's going to be tough, man, trying to contain Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Not an easy thing to do, and the Oilers win the first 2 hockey games. Protect home ice. We head back to Vegas, get dominated and blown out in game 3. And now we are facing elimination in game number 4 on home ice. First period, 2-1 lead thanks to Dorofeyev and Jack Eichel. Mangiapane will tie the game up for Edmonton, but Siegenthaler gives us the lead on Stuart Foreskin Skinner. Shots are pretty much even, 26 apiece. Vegas trying to hold on to their year right now. A 1-goal advantage. I need Philip Gustafsson to cook. Uh-oh. Power play for the Oilers. Can we kill it off? A 5-on-3. Can the Vegas Golden Knights force a game number 5? Yes, we will. Kent Johnson had a 2-point night, as well as Dorofeyev, who scored 2 goals. Shea Theodore was solid. Jack Eichel had 2 points. Marner had an assist in an elimination game. I don't believe it. It is a Christmas miracle. We are definitely not in the clear yet. Far away from coming back and winning this series. We just got to take it one game at a time right now. I'll knot it up at 2 apiece in the third. Barbashev and Mitch Marner will score for Vegas. Savoy and Matthias Janmark for the Edmonton Oilers. Mangiapane on Philip Gustafsson, giving the Oilers the advantage late in the third period. Let's find out what Mitch Marner is currently made of. Down 3-1 in the series. We're on the penalty kill. We only got 1:50 left to go here in the third period. Try to tie this game up. Nice save there on McDavid. Zach Hyman over to Evander Kane. What? Did Evander Kane went back to Edmonton? I don't believe it. I'm not going to lie. It feels very weird cheering for Vegas over Edmonton in a postseason matchup. But here we are, 18 seconds to go in the PK, and then we're back to even strength. Probably going to have to pull our netminder. I'm not going to lie. Philip Gustafsson better stay ready as we clear the puck out of the zone. 1 minute remaining here in the third. Mangiapane over to Savoy. Savoy trying to deke. He turns that puck over. Here we go. Break it out. Pull the goaltender, 54 seconds to go. Kent Johnson takes a shot on Skinner. We need full attack. We need our top line out there on the ice. Johnson turns it over. No, Nuge. Ahead of steam ahead. Somebody get on him. Yes, there we go. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins getting laid out. Uh-oh. No, Nuge. There it is. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins will end the season for the Vegas Golden Knights as the Edmonton Oilers completely dominated us in the second round. Mitch Marner, say what you want about him, but he was our best forward in the postseason. The man had 5 goals and 13 points in 10 games. I think maybe the first time he was over point per game. Technically, he was in 2022. 2023, he had 14 and 11, 13 and 13 last season. Yeah, overall, one of the better Mitch Marner playoff runs of his career. Shea Theodore had 9 points. Eichel had 8. Ken Johnson only 8. And Philip Gustafsson was an absolute brick wall. The man had a .929 save percentage in the postseason. We can't blame it on him. The Tampa Bay Lightning will go all the way, beating Colorado in the Cup Finals, getting their revenge over 2022. Austin Tommy Egg Matthews will take home all the major individual awards. Cale Makar will take home the Norris. Jake Ensel, the Conn Smythe. Mackenzie Blackwood, the Vezina. And the Selke will go to Crosby, as we are now 2 years down and both being pretty much disappointments. I mean, we had a 50-win season this year. We made the second round, but it is cup or bust every single year with Mitch Marner on the roster. Anze Kopitar calling it a career. He was only 9 goals short of 500. Victor Hedman retiring pretty early at 36 years old. Pietrangelo is gone. Former Vegas Golden Knight, Cam Atkinson, Matthias Ekholm, Derek Ryan, the Oilers legend. The good news is we did not sell our first round draft pick, so we are able to take a young player in the form of Patrick Rassa. Young sniper, top 6 medium potential. That's the guy I want. I mean, he's a long ways away from becoming a regular NHL player. I guess you could say these rebuilds are technically not rebuilds because I'm not going to be rebuilding the roster, and I'm going to be selling all of my draft capital in pursuit of the Stanley Cup. The re-sign phase, here we are. Who do we need to get back? Jake Neighbors does need an extension, but outside of him, everybody else is locked up. We are going to be selling on Tomas Hertl. He's all the way down at an 83 overall, making almost $7 million. I'm going to trade with Anaheim for a depth forward and clear up some cap space. Give Jake Neighbors $3.8 million over the next 2 seasons. Hopefully he accepts. He will get back to me in a few days. Now, for the juicy stuff. Alex DeBrincat. Ain't no way that man is asking for almost 12 mil. We have to try to sign somebody in free agency. I know the contracts are getting a little bit crazy. This is honestly one of the weaker free agency classes that we've had so far. A lot of these guys are aging. Tori Lehkonen wouldn't be bad. 87 overall, 31 years of age. He's a two-way forward. He fits in our top 6. I'm going to give him 7.8 over the next 3 seasons. I'm not going to throw in a clause in the contract in case I do want to trade that man. If he doesn't work out, there it is. Hopefully he gets back to me, and maybe now we can sign a backup goaltender to help out Philip Gustafsson. What about Laurent Brossoit, 34 years old, basically wants league minimum, and he's an 81 overall. He will fully accept my offer. I mean, why would he not? Welcome in Andrew Brunette to the Vegas Golden Knights, NHL head coach, $5 million over the next 4 seasons. There's no way he rejects that offer, huh? We could have gone with Bruce Cassidy. Lane Lambert actually fit our team pretty well, but the best fit was Andrew Brunette. He has an A overall. He's 54 years old, and his teaching style is forwards. Damn, we straight up got snaked by a Tori Lehkonen, who decided to sign with the Philadelphia Flyers. Jake Neighbors did re-sign in Vegas, luckily, and Andrew Brunette is our new head coach on this roster. We are going to sign a veteran in the form of Eric Stahl, lower the AAV a little bit. Actually, we can give him 3.25 over the next 2 seasons with a full no movement clause. We do have a ton of cap space available. Maybe bring back William Karlsson, 34 years old, $2.4 million. We'll go 2.5 over the next 2 seasons. Drew Doughty at 5.5 is a little bit out of my price range. We are still going to be running out Alex Tuch, Jack Eichel, and Mitch Marner. I think I do want to move up Ivan Barbashev on the second line alongside Ken Johnson and Pavel Dorofeyev. The bottom 6 doesn't really fit. We are going to have to move some players here to get the chemistry where it needs to be. Brett Howden on the second line or third line, no thank you. Robertson, Howden, and Goucher as our 4th line doesn't boat well with me, but we do have a solid third line in Neighbor, Stahl, and Jake Evans defensively. Theodore and Hannafin, TVR alongside Siegenthaler, and then we will go Riker, Evan, Jeremy Lazon. And of course, how could I forget the 88 overall Philip Gustafsson with Laurent Brossoit as our backup goaltender. We have to lock up Jonas Siegenthaler for the remainder of the video on a contract extension. I'm going to go 6.1 for 3 seasons with a full no movement clause. Pavel Dorofeyev also is a must. He only wants a 1-year contract. What if we... Oh my, he doesn't want any term. The man is looking to get paid, so we're going to go $6.6 million. Actually, no, let me lower it a little bit. 6 mil flat on a 1-year extension for Pavel Dorofeyev. Andrew Brunette, welcome to Vegas. The season goal is to win the Stanley Cup, and he agrees. He thinks this team good enough on paper to compete for the Cup. We will go conditioning, and we will be ready and prepared for the postseason. Otherwise, I'm probably the worst general manager of all time. Hey, Ivan Barbashev, welcome back, bud. Pavel Dorofeyev happily accepts my offer. If you guys have made it this far into the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. The road to 50K is on the way. Hold up a minute. At the trade deadline, the Flames have Dustin Wolf on the trading block. I know we have Philip Gustafsson, but Wolf already is a little bit better. He does need to be re-signed. This could be a risky move, but honestly, it could pay off. Never mind, we cannot trade Philip Gustafsson. I gave that man a full no movement clause. Completely forgot about that. Despite the fact that we were not a great team, 45, 31, and 6, we still were the best team in the Pacific Division. That is how insanely weak our division currently is right now. The Tampa Bay Lightning, best team in the NHL, winning 52 games, followed by Florida, Colorado, and Carolina. Eichel had a great year, scoring 56 goals and 111 points. Jack Eichel had a great year with 111 points, also 56 goals. Mitch Marner cracked the century mark yet again. Ken Johnson had 70 points. Dorofeyev with 29 goals. Jake Neighbors was very solid for us. And Philip Gustafsson had a .908 save percentage, 4 shutouts, and 33 wins. McKinnon and Nylander are going to tie for the most points in the league at 112, but they also tied in goals, so technically, who is going to win the Art Ross Trophy? For the Maurice Richard, there will be no dispute. Kyle Connor had the most goals at 59. Also, check out Jack Eichel. He was only 3 behind him. We got the Winnipeg Jets in round number 1. They do have a strong first line with Nick Schmaltz, Mark Scheifele, and Kyle Connor. Cole Perfetti alongside Velarde and Lambert. Depth-wise, I think we have them covered. Defensively, why do they have their 2 of their best defensemen on the second defensive pairing? That is EA Sports' AI GMs, and then Connor Hellebuck is only an 80 overall. Plus, we also know this man is not a playoff performer. Watch EA Sports make me eat my own words and Connor Hellebuck have like a 933 throughout this entire series. The EA Sim engine at the end of the day is completely and utterly random. Never mind, we completely steamrolled Winnipeg in 5 games. We move on to the second round yet again to play our bitter rivals in the Edmonton Oilers. We don't even need to look at their team. We know who's on the roster. We know they're very good. And we know we have to get a revenge over last season. Talk about an ass whipping. Not only for Edmonton, but the Chicago Blackhawks, they get belted in 5 games in the conference finals. And now in the Cup finals, we have a rematch of 2018. The Vegas Golden Knights got dominated in 5 against Washington. I will guarantee this time will be different. The Vegas Golden Knights are currently up 3-1 over the Washington Capitals. Stanley Cup in the building in Vegas for game number 5. 2-0 lead right off the hop. Jake Evans and Mitch Marner. Second period, we are leading 3-1 in the hockey game and in the series. It is time. Philip Gustafson, shut the door. Let's bring us home and let's win a Stanley Cup in the GM Pasta era. We are out shooting Washington 40-25 right now, but hold up. Patrick Kane's going to make it a hockey game. The Vegas Golden Knights have done it. They have captured their second Stanley Cup in franchise history, all thanks to GM Pasta. Some of my moves, I'll admit, a little bit questionable at the time, but it all worked out in the end. We steamrolled the Western Conference, winning every single series in 5 games, and we even won the Stanley Cup Finals in 5 games, getting our get back for all the way back in 2018, while Jack Eichel will win the Conn Smythe. 13 goals, 33 points. Mitch Marner now has a Stanley Cup before the Toronto Maple Leafs. I know Leaf fans are absolutely fuming right now watching Mitch the Bitch Marner be able to raise Lord Stanley before the Toronto Maple Leafs. There it is, home ice in Vegas. I threw on the much better gray jerseys instead of those mustard tiger ones they were rocking. We get to win it in front of our fans, and there he is, Captain Mitch Marner, still unable to grow a playoff beard, but it doesn't matter because he is forever a Cup champion. Of course, Jack Eichel was our best forward in the postseason, but Mitch Marner just had his best playoff run ever. 12 goals and 28 points in only 20 games. Dorofeyev had 23, Shea Theodore 19, Kent Johnson had 19, and for Philip Gustafson, a .922 save percentage and a record of 16-2-1. We absolutely dominated. We end up completing the rebuild challenge in only 3 seasons. The challenge was 5 years. I got it done in 3, baby. Nathan McKinnon will take home the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. Kyle Connor, the Maurice Richard, Makar, the Norris, Eichel, the Conn Smythe. Skinner's gonna grab his first ever Vezina, and Sidney Crosby yet again the Selke. Well, that is going to do it for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I would like to say thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.